makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because Colourpop recently expanded their concealer shade range, and I was super excited about it because I do own their original lightest shade, and even though it doesn't look that bad in the tube, it does oxidize quite a bit, so I find this not to be my perfect shade. It's a little bit too dark and I really don't reach for it very often because of that. Overall, I do like the formula. I think that it has nice coverage, nice consistency. I think the Tarte Shape Tape, I like the coverage a little bit better, but I do like the formula as far as a more affordable option goes. So each tube retails for $6 and it has 0.14 ounces, which is about half the size of the Tarte Shape Tape. So let's just go ahead and start swatching. I pretty much have a bare face right now because I really love seeing people swatch shades on their face, so I thought I would do that before I actually go ahead and apply them and everything like that. Also, if you can see like the big giant red mark here and under my chin and the bruise, our family dog is an 80-pound German Shepherd, and he literally jumped up and with his paw sucker punched my chin and left this. Let's just go ahead and start off by swatching the original shade. This is Fair 5. They also, I wanted to mention, have Fair 8 in the Fair line, but I know that like Fair 5 is already too dark for me, so Fair 8, I wasn't even going to try it. So there's what that looks like. Like I said, it looks okay here, but just give it a second, you will see it oxidize. So the next lightest shade down from that is Fair 04. Ooh, that looks nice. See, look how much it already had oxidized. Crazy. So here is Fair 4. Shade looks nice right now, but like I said, they oxidize, so we'll give it a second. We're definitely gonna let them dry down before we decide which one I should use today. And then next down from that is Fair 02. Yep, definitely oxidizing a little bit. So this one looks super, super light. Ooh, I'm excited about that. Okay, so that's pretty light, like almost looks almost white on my skin. Last but not least is Fair 00, and this is supposed to be a white shade, I believe, so obviously not something you would like typically use on its own. You can mix it in with other things. Yeah, it's true white, which it's nice to see a drugstore option for a white concealer. Okay, here they are dried down all the way. The first shade, you can see, even though it originally looked like lighter than my skin tone, it is pretty orange on me. It definitely has more yellow undertones, so if you're like, if you've got like fair light skin with warm undertones, then this might be for you. And then underneath that is this is 4, and this is a very peachy type shade. I feel like this blends into my skin tone pretty okay. Like as far as like, maybe it's just because of the redness on my cheeks here, but I feel if I blend that a little bit, like it kind of blends into my skin. So I feel like this would be the shade that I would use to like spot conceal or like cover up any redness or acne or anything like that. And then the next shade is 02, kind of more neutral undertones in my opinion, but it is pretty light, a very nice shade, and this is the one I see myself using for under my eyes. And then luckily 00 did not oxidize at all. It is still a true white shade, and I could just see myself using that to brighten up a little bit along with 02. So I think I'll mix that in just a little bit just to try it out. Okay, so really quick before we go ahead and apply, I just want to swatch the shade that I'm going to be using today in comparison with my favorite concealers at the moment, because I feel like this is, if you're super fair, Fair 02 is going to be the one for you. Oh man, I can't swatch it on this hand because like I have this giant red mark. I swatched an eyeshadow yesterday and it does not want to leave me alone. So I guess I'll swatch on this hand, which is harder because I'm like right hand dominant. So anytime I use my left hand, I know I look ridiculous. Okay, so there is Colourpop. So under that, I'm going to do the Kylie concealer. I was going to rave about this and say that this is the lightest concealer shade I've ever used, but I really want to swatch it in comparison to the Colourpop, because originally I was thinking Kylie versus Colourpop. Like if I did the comparison, the Kylie is so much lighter than 05. Like I've been loving this just because I've been mixing it in with other concealers and I feel like it's the perfect brightening shade. So I'm curious to see how they swatch. And their wands are like literally the exact same. Okay guys, we might have to do the Kylie versus Colourpop Concealer Smackdown. Those are like the same shade. I'm so excited. And then last but not least, I'm going to do Tarte Shape Tape, which is just a touch darker. So there's Colourpop, Kylie, and Tarte. Tarte is a very normal skin tone shade. I feel like these two are really great for brightening. Like, I will use the Kylie concealer on its own for brightening and for concealing, but I feel like it's more of like, it's like, how do I explain this? I feel like a lot of people do like their concealer a lot lighter underneath their eyes, which has never been an option for me until now. I've always just had pretty much very close to my skin tone shade because that's all that there was. I was lucky to even get something that was the same skin tone shade as me and not darker. But now, like, whenever I want that dramatic look and I want that brightened under eye, that's the Kylie is my go-to. So now I've got the Colourpop and the white shade. I'm gonna be so bright. Okay, I should probably apply some foundation first. I'm just gonna go into the BH Cosmetics Liquid Foundation, 201 Ivory, one of my favorite foundations. So I'm just starting off with 04, and I'm just using this to conceal any acne, any red spots, anything like that. Which apparently I have a lot today. My skin is not loving me. Go ahead and use 02 under my eyes. Use that one as well just to highlight like the center of my face. So I'm trying to make a decision of whether to use the white one right now, but I feel like 02 is light enough. So I don't think I'm going to use the white one yet. I think I'll just blend this out and see what it looks like first. Okay, so I feel like whenever the Colourpop concealer gets blended out, it oxidizes more, and I feel like the Kylie concealer, I don't know if it's just because it has more coverage, but it stays brighter, and I feel like my under eyes kind of just, they look the same skin tone as me. They don't look that much brighter. So I think I'm going to go ahead and mix in just a little bit of the white concealer, just to see how it goes. Yeah, the 04 shade is all I had on my chin right here, and it looks a little dark. So I think I'm gonna do the white, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit of 02 on top because I don't want it to like stand out and look like super white. So I'm just gonna add just a touch, which is fine with me for this concealer, like layering, because it's not full coverage. So I'm here for the layering. I'm here for that cake. Okay, there we go. See, this is what I feel like the Kylie one looks like on its own. It just looks almost white when you blend it out because it doesn't oxidize at all. So the white concealer is blending out like a dream in my opinion. I think that it looks super bright, looks super nice now. Maybe I look a little scary, but it'll look better once I contour and blush and highlight and all that. But I feel like for the formula of a white concealer, I personally haven't tried the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer in their white shade, but I feel like that one is full coverage or like thicker as I've heard, and I feel like Colourpop is like it's like a medium coverage. I just feel like the formula is a little thinner, so I feel like that's better for a white concealer to mix in with other things, because sometimes if like a mixer is like too pigmented and too thick, like it'll look splotchy or it doesn't blend out as great. So I don't know, I like the formula of the Colourpop for a mixer. I think it's really nice, and no matter what shade you are, like you can get the white mixer and use it for a foundation, you can use it for concealer, like you can use it for whatever you need to make everything your perfect match, or yeah, at least if you need things to be lighter, if you need them to be darker. I know that there are different dark mixers out there. I'm not really familiar with them as much. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my face, and then I'll be back to give you guys my final thoughts. So my final thoughts, I'm very happy with the expanded range. I think that they did a good job as far as the lighter shades go, and I'm just excited that they did expand their range and that they have so many shades to choose from now. No matter what skin color you are, I think it's actually so hard to choose which concealer shade you're going to be because there's so many to choose from, which is amazing. Like, that is a great problem to have, is to have too many shades to choose from, because I mean, it's just not something you see that often, but there's so many brands right now that are expanding their shade ranges, and I'm here for it. I think of course it should have been expanded in the first place. Like, there should always be shades for every skin tone, but I feel like Colourpop overall, their first launch was pretty good. Like, it was decent, but now it's just like 100 times better. So props to them for listening to their consumers and expanding. So if you guys are trying to decide which shade to get, definitely keep in mind that this formula oxidizes a ton. I would say like 2 to 3 shades darker than when it starts out as. So even though it looks super light in the tube, like this one 04, even though it looks super light, ended up being a little bit dark on me. It works for spot concealing, but I definitely had to brighten it up when I put it on my chin. It was just a little bit too dark, even though I was trying to cover up some redness. But I feel like this is a shade, like, I like the shade, so I could see myself mixing it in with the other lighter 2 shades. So I do overall like 04. Like, it's decent, and if you have like fair skin but you're not the absolute lightest, then I think that you guys might like this shade as well. So as far as 02, I love this shade. I feel like it's very nice. It ends up being super close to my skin tone, just a touch lighter. So I think it looks very natural. It looks really nice, but I'm here, like, my favorite one I think is definitely the white concealer, and these two mixed together I feel like look super it looks super bright and nice underneath my eyes. So I really like these two to mix together, and I just love that I have a white concealer now. Like, I can mix this with any concealer that I have, which is going to be so great, because, or even this one I feel like is lighter, or the Kylie one that I've been using. Like, it's just so nice to have super light shades that you can mix in with other, like, I have so many concealers that are too dark for me, but I'm trying to use anyways just to get through the product since I did buy them. So I'm definitely going to be using these and mixing them a ton and getting so much use out of them. So I'm very happy that I picked these up. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I just wanted to kind of sit down, test them out, play around a little bit. So yeah, that's everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.